Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're looking at a documented historical account of an extraordinary life. We're honoring the legacy of 2nd Lieutenant Arun Khetarpal, India's youngest ever recipient of the Param Vir Chakra, which is the country's absolute highest military honor. This is a factual look at his final days and the truly profound impact his actions had on the battlefield.
But to really understand the sheer gravity of his story, we have to first just pause and absorb a very specific number: 21. Because at the time of his death, and when he was posthumously awarded the Param Vir Chakra, Arun Khetarpal was just 21 years old. It's a detail that grounds everything we're about to cover in a deep, sobering reality.
Now, the weight of history was something Khetarpal carried long before he ever put on a uniform. Born on October 14, 1950 in Pune, Maharashtra, he came from a Hindu Punjabi family whose origins actually traced back to Sargodha. Following the partition of India, Sargodha became part of Pakistan, so his family had to cross those newly drawn borders as refugees, having to completely rebuild their lives in India. Service to the nation wasn't just a career choice for him, it was woven deeply into his lineage. His family's military service ran 3 generations deep. His great-grandfather served in the Sikh army. His grandfather actually fought in the British Army during the First World War. And his father, Lieutenant Colonel M.L. Khetarpal, was a serving Indian Army officer. As the elder son, Arun naturally followed this path. He excelled academically and athletically at the Lawrence School in Sanawar, before moving on to the National Defense Academy and then finally the Indian Military Academy.
What's really striking about his timeline, though, is the incredible compression of events here. He was commissioned into the 17th Pune Horse, a very distinguished armored regiment, in June of 1971. He had exactly 6 months of service when the geopolitical landscape just fractured. On December 3, 1971, Pakistan launched its offensive, which sparked the 1971 war. Khetarpal was actually right in the middle of a young officer's course in Ahmednagar when the recall order came through. He immediately rushed back to rejoin his unit at the front lines.
And that brings us to December 16, 1971, in the Shakargarh sector, specifically the Battle of Basantar. Khetarpal's regiment was tasked with helping hold a critical bridgehead across the Basantar River. But the situation deteriorated rapidly when Pakistani armor launched a major counterattack at a village called Jarpal. Advancing under the cover of a dense smokescreen, enemy forces struck B Squadron of the Pune Horse. The Indian tanks in that sector were severely outnumbered, which prompted B Squadron's commander to desperately radio for reinforcements. 2nd Lieutenant Khetarpal was stationed with A Squadron. Now, he wasn't directly ordered to respond to this call. Yet, seeing the critical danger his comrades were in, he initiated a series of decisive tactical maneuvers. First, he moved his troop toward Jarpal to reinforce B Squadron. Crossing the Basantar River, he encountered enemy strongpoints and recoilless gun positions that were still holding out. Without waiting for any further orders, he charged them directly. He overran these positions with his own tank, famously capturing enemy infantry and weapons crews at pistol point. But he didn't stop there. He pushed forward, engaging the enemy armor directly. He single-handedly destroyed 10 enemy tanks that day. It's a staggering achievement that earned him the title of India's Tank Ace of Aces. But this relentless forward momentum came at a devastating cost. During the intense exchange of fire, his own tank was hit, and it immediately caught fire. The situation was absolutely critical. Over the tactical radio network, his squadron commander realized the peril and issued a direct order for Khetarpal to abandon the burning vehicle and withdraw to safety. His response is a matter of documented military record. Across the radio, Khetarpal replied, "No, sir, I will not abandon my tank." He realized his main gun was still fully operational, and despite the flames literally engulfing his vehicle, he chose to remain inside. He kept fighting, firing from the burning tank, completely refusing to give the enemy a single inch of ground. His steadfast refusal to yield had a massive, decisive impact on the battle. His actions completely broke the Pakistani armored assault. Because he held the line so fiercely, not a single enemy tank managed to break through his sector that day. However, in the process of halting that advance, his tank was struck a second time by an enemy shell. And it was this final hit that claimed his life. He was just 21 years old. The date of his death, December 16, 1971, carries an immense historical resonance. We really have to juxtapose the micro-tragedy of his individual loss with the macro-historical reality that was unfolding at that exact same time. On the exact same day that this 21-year-old soldier fell at Basantar, Pakistan's Eastern Command formally surrendered in Dhaka. The war that ended his life also ended the entire conflict, directly leading to the creation of a brand new nation, Bangladesh.
The magnitude of his sacrifice was recognized at the absolute highest level of the Indian state. Just over a month later, on January 26, 1972, during India's Republic Day, Second Lieutenant Arun Khetarpal was posthumously awarded the Param Vir Chakra. As we noted at the very beginning of this explainer, this remains a profound milestone. More than 50 years later, he is still the youngest person ever to receive this honor. The official military citation for his Param Vir Chakra distills his final moments into formal recognition. It states that his actions demonstrated, and I quote, dauntless courage, dogged determination, and supreme sacrifice. Those words aren't just ceremonial. They're an exact, literal description of a young officer who placed the survival of his squadron and the defense of his nation far above his own life. A sacrifice of this scale leaves an indelible mark, ensuring his name continues to watch over the next generation of soldiers. If you visit the National Defense Academy today, you'll find the main parade ground, and its gates bear his name. Similarly, at the Indian Military Academy in Dehradun, his name is enshrined on their gates. These physical monuments serve as constant, silent reminders to the young cadets training to serve, anchoring them to the highest ideals of duty. And beyond military institutions, his legacy has also translated into popular culture, ensuring the broader public remembers his story. In January 2026, a major feature film titled Ikkis, which translates from Hindi as 21, was released in theaters. It brought his life and sacrifice to the silver screen, notably featuring veteran actor Dharmendra in one of his final roles, playing Arun Khetarpal's father. It's a poignant tribute bridging generations and keeping his memory alive. As we conclude this explainer, we're left to really reflect on the immense gravity of an abbreviated life. We've seen the documented timeline, the staggering odds, and the fierce determination of a young officer in a burning tank. And it leaves us with a quiet, enduring question to ponder. How does history measure a 21-year-old sacrifice against the birth of a nation?